Again Radio episode. I have no clue what we're on. Welcome to Think Ever Again Radio. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm excited. We had a mutual friend reach out to me. She asked me at a wedding to kind of help out with what you're doing, and I've been trying to get more involved in charity and fundraisers and stuff like that. So when the opportunity kind of came up to do something like this, I was more than happy to do it. I'm a big Nazareth guy. I'm stuck here, so why not help the town? I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and kind of let us know what you're doing, and then we'll kind of get into the whole fundraiser and everything you're trying to do.
Great. Well, I have 4 kids, and they all, 3 of them go to Holy Family now. One just graduated from Holy Family and goes to Notre Dame. So I have a 4th, a 6th, and an 8th grader there at school right now.
Oh, my God.
So why not help the school while all my kids are there? My background is I was in pharmaceutical sales, and I like to keep busy and things like that. So as my kids got a little bit older and all in school, I became involved with our home and school association, which is in like a public school setting, like a PTO kind of thing.
How do you even get involved in doing that?
Well, it's hard to find volunteers, so it's not that hard to get involved.
Yeah.
So I just put my name in, and I first was the treasurer at the school in the HSA association, and then I went into vice president and president, and we had a really good board with a bunch of us that kind of revamped the whole fundraising process at the school. So we started to do 2 really large fundraisers, and that's kind of what I started to branch out into after I was done being my role as president. Then we went into just the fundraising part of it.
Do you think it's easier to do, because I've always wondered this, is it easier to do larger fundraisers and try and get everything all at once, or to do smaller stuff and kind of add it up? Because we've done like comedy shows for fundraising and stuff, and I always thought that like if we just put on one big event and made a lot of money at one time, it was way easier than trying to wrangle people or like sell pizzas or do stuff like that. Like, what's the benefits of doing the larger ones? Well,
that was definitely our concept, was to do bigger and also involve the community, because in a Catholic school, parents are already paying for tuition, so they have a lot of costs that they have associated with their children's education. So we wanted to, rather than, ask them to do a pizza order and then chocolate order and cheesecakes all in the next couple months, we thought it would be better that they have the 2 large fundraisers. So that's kind of the same concept. So yes, bigger is definitely better.
What were the first ideas for the first bigger events you put on? Is it similar to what you're doing now, or was it kind of hard to figure out what worked?
Well, the first one we took, I think all schools do it, where the kids get sponsors to run around the field so many different times. And we transformed the way that they would raise money to a cash calendar raffle. So we asked that each kid sell 10 tickets for $10, and then it was very well received, because then the people buying the tickets had an opportunity to win between $50 and $500 every day, like the month of November. So that was an easy one. So it was just like a transformation of what we already had. And then the tricky tray, we were asked to throw a tricky tray.
I feel like tricky trays are big. Anytime we tried, when we did the comedy show, everyone was like, do a tricky tray. I'm like, what the hell's a tricky tray? I don't even know what that means. And then when we got into it, there was a large clump of money that was like easily, like it was way easier to get that involved, because the people are already coming there to see a show, but then a lot of people liked being able to win prizes and stuff. And then seeing like where the tricky tray is almost like what you want to do once you got them there.
Well, it's almost like a entertainment for them. So the Tricky Tray evolved from a 20-year breakfast at Holy Family Club, and it had a small turkey tray. And it got a little, flat after 20 years in Holy Family Club, so we still want to support you, but we don't want to have the breakfast anymore. So we kind of took it and still have the breakfast for our event, but we made a really big tricky tray.
Yeah.
So it's kind of how that one transformed.
And then for the tricky tray, from what I understand, when I tried doing it, was you have to get prizes and stuff that people donate, and then people kind of, because then that's good for the community, because you have people who are donating and helping you out in a sense in that fashion as well.
We do. So we have about 20 people on our committee, and about 7 or 8 of them just go out and get prizes for us. So each one has a different geography in Lehigh Valley. Some have like further reaching where they just send for online things.
Yeah.
And it's a great advertising opportunity because the prize level starts at $25. So a $25 gift card to go eat anywhere isn't going to cover the cost. So you potentially get another customer in the door, and you get the chance to have it advertised by all the people that walk in that want to put their ticket in that prize.
How many, because it sounds like you kind of built this into a network at this point. How many people all work on this?
About 20 of us.
Yeah.
So
that's cool that people dedicate themselves
to
do that.
And we have a great committee. Each person does an important piece of it. I have 2 co-chairs, Kristen Chancellor and Jen Waldmiller, and we couldn't do it without all of us kind of pitching in and doing our part. Jen does all the food side of things, and Kristen's my right hand the entire event. So it's great. And then you have the people that go out and get the prizes, the people that do the social media for us. We definitely have a good group of parents.
Yeah, sounds like you guys build a pretty strong team.
Yeah, and they all want to come back, and we build every year. We have a couple people that maybe work that weekend and say, "Can I be part of the committee?" So that means something, that we're having fun while we do it too. It's not just, oh, we have to raise money for the school. We enjoy doing what we're doing.
How many years have you been doing this as far as building it and getting it to where it is today?
The Tricky Tray's on its 4th year of this new platform of having it. We have it at the Parish Center at Holy Family. So it's the 4th year that we've been doing it.
Is this your first year at the Parish Center? Because I know that's new as it compared to using the upstairs of the Holy Family Club.
No, this is that was 20 years of a process that I wasn't involved in.
Yeah.
But the Parish Center, this is the 4th year.
Oh, that's
Parish
cool.
Center. Yeah.
I was able to be over at the Parish Center for an event. That center itself is great for hosting and whatnot because they have a kitchen over there.
They do.
So, because I remember the lobby is where they had the Tricky Tray set up, but then when we went into the main area, but that's great that you get to use that for kind of the layout. And that's cool that it's right in Nazareth. It's like hidden away.
It really is. And I don't think there's any like facility like that around. It's a really neat way for us to showcase. We get to showcase our school, we get to showcase the church, but we also like hold a really nice event that people get to enjoy. And we have a lot of repeat customers, even as far as like Philadelphia. They've already started to mail their ticket orders in.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's it been like to watch it grow? I mean, with having the Parish Center and being able to use that, and like, I know how hard it is from putting on events and stuff. Like the fact that you have a kitchen there, like it's kind of a one-stop shop, because if you didn't have that, I know what it's like to have to go rent like a space out, and then the space is great but the location's terrible, but then you find a new location and it doesn't have a kitchen, and like this has a little bit of everything over there.
It does. And a lot of the Tricky Trays you go to, that's what it is. You're just going, you put your things in the your tickets in the baskets. This one's different because we add a different element every night of food, and Sunday's a daytime breakfast. So it gives us the ability to be really creative with the event and not just have it be something where people just come and drop off their tickets.
Yeah, or if it's in like a fire hall and it's just kind of in like one big building and you're really just kind of working around the building not working correct for the layout of it. You guys can really do some cool stuff over there.
Yeah, we kind of have it transforming from like the time you walk into the atrium and then you walk through the banquet area, and then we keep the tables in the middle. Not as many, but we keep the tables in the middle so people can sit and hang out, maybe see something that they didn't see before, and then they want to, walk around again.
So now that we're kind of caught up on like how this was started and what you guys have been doing with building it, what do you have in store for this year?
So this year we did it a little bit different. Our Friday night we do a Lenten meal, and we wanted to make Friday a little bit more exciting. So we still have a Lenten meatless pasta dinner, but it's the battle of the sauces, which is pretty cool. So we have 4 restaurants that all are contributing a meatless sauce, their favorite meatless sauce.
Who came up with the idea for Battle of the Sauces?
It's actually our principal did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we said we really want to get more people in the door on Friday. And he's like, well, how about you have like a competition of some sort?
And food competition stuff's like real big right now.
Yeah, and so we're doing a flight of pasta, and then you get tasting cups, 4 different tasting cups of the different sauces. And then there'll be a place to vote at your table of which sauce you like the best. So it will be blinded.
Yeah. I like that it's like interactive and you're doing stuff and you're not just kind of, even with the tricky tray there, I like that there's something you're doing. Like you're judging things and doing, because I've been a part of stuff like that where they did food stuff and somebody asked me to like judge the food and I was like, what do I have to do? And they're like, you just have to eat this food and mark down on a piece of paper. But it made it so much more enjoyable because you feel like you're a part of it. And then like, I don't know. I like I would go to something like that. Like it's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, we're really excited about that night. And the nice thing is that we also know that food expenses are going up and that people want to come to do the turkey tray, but then it also, like to eat and everything, it adds up. So we only charge $6 if they order their tickets ahead of time. So you can't even go to McDonald's for $6 anymore.
No.
So they get like the plate of pasta, they get the tasting, and they get a salad and bread for $6.
Where are the, who's, because I'm really excited about this. Where are you guys getting the sauces from? So who's involved on donating the sauces?
Well, I only have, we have 4 restaurants that have done the sauces.
Okay.
We have Napoli Pizza.
Is that in town?
It's in Bethlehem. We have Nona Salinas in Bethlehem, Pat's Bistro.
I know Pat's.
And Fiamma.
Cool. Are you trying to get more?
No, we're just going to stick with the 4 battle of the 4.
Yeah. I like that though. But that's cool because it opens it up to doing it again next year or doing a different food. And then now you have something that's kind of like getting interest, but then you can keep growing on that idea.
Yeah. So it's exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited to see. And then it's interesting too, because then you're like, even you just suggesting those places, like I was like, well, that's cool that they donated. So I would go check those places out because I know Yanni from Pat's. And if they're anything like Yanni or Pat's or they're doing something like that, they're usually good people. So the food and stuff's good. But then that's massive advertising for them because if somebody likes the sauce, we should go eat there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what else are you guys doing besides the Battle of the Sauces?
So
or is that one night? Or because this is multiple nights?
Yes.
Which I didn't know till we got on the phone, and I'm like, this is crazy. It's a 3-night extravaganza.
Tired. We are so tired by Sunday.
You guys are crazy.
The first year, I was so tired. Like we were just kind of like cleaning up, and I just started to cry. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I'm so tired."
Yeah, that's a gauntlet.
It was a lot. So now we're like kind of seasoned. But
yeah.
So the Friday night's like 4 to 7 for the food, and it's 4 to 8 for the turkey tray itself. Saturday night, we don't do a pre-order. It's all about comfort food. So we do just like fried chicken, pulled pork, mac and cheese, just a real laid back kind of menu. And we're doing that from 12 to 7. So we noticed over the past couple of years that there's people that want to come earlier. So we wanted to accommodate like an earlier thing and just kind of end a little earlier at night because it gets kind of quiet on a Saturday night.
How do you handle the food for that? Like, is it just in-house stuff you guys are making or do people donate that food?
It's a combination. We will, like, parents donate gift cards for like the grocery stores and we'll get the giant fried chicken. And then we make the pulled pork. We're still looking for someone to donate the mac and cheese. But if not, we're going to take care of it ourselves.
Yeah.
But the best thing for us is to get as many donations as possible because then it helps us raise more money.
Go back.
Yeah.
How do you judge how many people are going to be there for the food?
So with Friday and Sunday, it's nice because we have the pre-order. So that gives us a really good idea of like our guaranteed number. And then our co-chair that runs the kitchen, she's really good at like figuring out all those variables.
No, that's why I asked. It's hard sometimes to figure out how much food you need for even when I go do the pop-ups. Like I had one yesterday and I'm like, man, I don't know what we're supposed to do. Should I bring 150? Should I bring 80? So she kind of figures all that out?
She figures that out, and she does a pretty good job. And then there's a couple times that we've been like a little bit low at the one level of breakfast, and people go out, get more stuff, and then we just we do what we can do to keep it going.
Yeah,
so.
It sounds like it's a lot of dedication and a lot of you guys actually caring about it in order to keep it running. And it sounds like, from the little I know from putting on small events, it sounds like it's a mountain of work.
It is, but it's rewarding at the end of the event when you see, how much you can help the school. It is rewarding to see.
Is that what keeps you interested in doing it, or what was kind of the initial, like, because I'm sure the first time you did it, it's almost like a euphoria of like, man, like when you have those feelings on like making change and difference, and then you see how much it helps out, and you're like, oh man, I'm on to this. And then when it starts getting built up, it's got to feel good to kind of know that your time and your energy and all this hard work is going somewhere, especially having kids there.
I think that's exactly what it is that, you can make a difference in the school, and you can, the money that's raised all goes back to the educational experiences for the school. So for technology, if they need more Chromebooks, then we can help pay for that to get, our kids are 1-to-1 with Chromebooks there. But Home and School was able to help with that with fundraisers like this. And then going to, what do they need this year? And these events help us give those needs to meet the needs for the kids.
Does the school usually have like a list of things that they need help with, or is it kind of you guys just raise the money and then the school decides where it goes? Or like, do you have like points where you're like, hey, we need to get computers and this is going to be a large sum of money, we really need to push hard to get this? Or like, how do you come up with your goals each year, or each time you do it differently?
Well, that's really done by the school itself, and the principal will have the needs that they,
and then do you meet up with them and kind of go over stuff, or is it? The
Home and School board would meet up with them, and then they would see if they could meet those needs with the budget.
Yeah. So. It sounds like this is a massive responsibility to take on, just, for you. It shows what type of person you are. The people that do this is, you don't have to do this, but it's not just, hey, we're going to sell some hoagies. It sounds like there's a very structured thing in order, like this, if the school didn't have this, where, it'd be sad to say where they would be at without somebody taking this responsibility on. Do you ever have pressure from like you guys being in charge of like coming up with that every year?
I don't think it's pressure, but you want to make it a success.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for other people, so I guess it is pressure, but it's still something that you feel good about.
Yeah. It's a bit of a challenge too. I would think you would kind of look at it that way as well.
When I think with my background, I chose to stay home with my kids. So this is kind of it keeps me active.
That's a job.
Yeah. I can put it probably on my resume when I want to go back to work.
Yeah. So the Saturday, that's, you guys do the laid back thing on Saturday? And then what else is there besides kind of is the Tricky Tray obviously still there? So the Tricky Tray runs for what, 3 days?
3 days. So,
Is it different each day, or on Sunday is when it's like all the prizes are for, like, when do you do the prizes each time, or is it different prizes each day?
It's the same prizes the whole time. So, you'll see the ticket containers getting full, and some of them are a little bigger than others. So, by Sunday, and everyone has their preference. Some like to go first, and some are back every day, putting tickets in. So, it's a cumulative.
And then Saturday, is there anything going on besides the laid back food, or do you have music, or like, what's kind of the vibe for Saturday?
We'll play music like on someone's phone through the system in the building, but not a DJ or anything like that.
No, you skip that headache.
But it is definitely laid back.
Yeah.
No entertainment or anything like that, but people like to see people. And I think especially now, people are getting out and they enjoy it. They can sit and hang out and talk, and the kids that go to school there are there, and they get to see each other. So it's a nice social.
Yeah,
event.
I like how it's mixed up, because Friday seems like it's more of like, you would be able to like mingle and whatnot, but there's, you're also judging the pasta and whatnot, and then you have the tricky tray, and then that kind of just sounds like a Friday for people who like to go out and be busy, and then Saturday's more reserved for kind of like a more laid back, and the group of people who are just there to kind of talk with each other and then have dinner. And then what does Sunday get you into?
So Sunday is breakfast with the Easter Bunny.
Oh, man.
So
I used to do breakfast with Santa. I never do breakfast with the Easter Bunny.
what's cool about the banquet area is that every day it transforms.
Yeah.
So when you go in on Friday night, it's going to look like you're going for an Italian meal.
That's what I was trying to get at, but I couldn't explain it with like you guys having that venue that's awesome.
Yeah,
like you can do a lot of stuff over there. That's a really cool spot.
We transform it at a low cost with a lot of tablecloths kind of thing.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, you go in and it's comfort food. So you have like the red checked look when you're going like a picnic kind of style. And then when you come in on Sunday, it's like all pastels in there. And we have a teacher that makes all the centerpieces for us. So it just transforms every day, which is really cool to see. And it's really easy for us to do because the border still stays the same with all the prizes and things.
You're just kind of switching out the designs and the layout and the lighting and tablecloths and all that.
Yeah, so the breakfast with the Easter Bunny is great because it's from 8 to 1. We have seatings for that. So we do all of our pre-order through Square. So you would go in and be able to pick what time you want to go to breakfast. And we do that as a pre-order for $9, and then at the door it's $12. And kids 3 and under get to eat for free. But for an all-you-can-eat, again, you can't go and get one portion anymore for $9 for breakfast.
No, absolutely not.
So it's cool, and we arranged to have an ATM on site too, which is nice too for people if they're like, oh no, you don't take credit card. We take credit card for food, but not for the tricky tray stuff. You're not allowed to.
What do you have on the menu for the breakfast?
It's actually I don't have it on here, but it's sausage, frittata, scrambled eggs, bacon, an assortment of pastries that are donated by area restaurants, juice, coffee, you name it. It's pretty much a full. Oh, pancakes. We make pancakes.
Who helps out with the cooking?
Parents.
Yeah.
And then we have fresh fruit cut too. There's a lot of people.
Work.
There's a lot of people in the kitchen.
That's why I asked who helps out with the food. I'm in such a food lane right now, so that's why I keep focusing on food. But it's just interesting for me to figure out, like, it takes a lot of people to make something like that happen. And the more you keep listing stuff, I'm like, man, that's a lot of prep. That's a lot of setup. That's a lot of, you guys must be there day and night every day until Monday.
Well, yeah.
Maybe Tuesday.
Yeah, we do. And just the breakfast alone, the first year we had 500 people come to breakfast.
Oh my God. And then, because I keep thinking like it's all right. And then I'm like, no, these are probably hitting hundreds. So what's the number that comes on Friday?
That's been a slower night. So that's why we're hoping that the Battle of the Sauces and those great restaurants will really bring in a lot more people for us. But we're hoping for, big numbers every night for people to come in, enjoy great food, and then do
that pre-order is huge though. So you at least know what you're gauging at. Have you ever ran out and not had to turn people away?
We haven't, because we always go down the street and get more. Yeah, so we haven't had that. I mean, maybe ran out of like one item or something like that with an all-you-can-eat kind of thing. But we even had 500 crepes donated by Bakerly.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a fun, nice event, and people get to eat good food while they do it.
Is it hard for, like, I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but is it hard to get people to donate stuff, or is everybody kind of usually accept it and want to do it, or is it harder because of the way things have been since the pandemic? Like, what's it like to knock on doors these days?
I think it really runs a mix. We have had a little bit of a harder time, but I think that it depends on the area. Like Nazareth has been great. We really, and this is the town that the school's in. So
Yeah.
it's great that they're being great.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking any of that until you said there was 500 people, and I'm like, yeah, the parish is here, it's in town. Like, yeah, a bunch of people will come and support it.
Yeah. So, but prizes, we've had really good luck this year. Like really good luck. We did something different though. We did some sponsorship requests. So we were able to have some businesses give us $1,000 sponsorship, $500 sponsorships, which we bought really good prizes with.
Yeah, and then that's kind of like advertising for them in that sense.
Yeah, it's great advertising for them. We put it out on social media. We have signage that's going to show, their logos at the event itself, and it's really helped us focus on some of the smaller prizes to have these great large prizes, which is a draw in itself. We have another thing that we did is we had a teacher that anonymously donated $1,000, and then we had a Phantoms night, like a family night, and we raised about $1,500. So we took $1,000 of that and we put it towards a $2,000 grocery and gas prize. So who doesn't want $2,000 for groceries and gas right now?
Yeah, I know.
So
After you're kind of explaining this, that tricky tray is probably insane by the time day 3 is over, because if there's 500 people on Sunday plus the overload of that's a ton of people coming through to put in for prizes. And I want to get into the prizes. Is how long does that take to go through all that stuff?
So
and do you guys do that?
we do. We bring in a somewhat fresher crew at that point. But we will pull tickets. So we have really large containers with lids, and we do like 6 at a, like there's a group of 2, and we pull six different prizes at a time.
Did you guys know how to do this before you started it, or is this what you figured out while you were going? Because it seems like you have a very well thought out system in the place at this point.
Well, we're pretty organized, but
Yeah.
but what's crazy is that we've never before this we didn't even go to a tricky tray.
That's awesome.
So we figured it out.
Yeah.
So we have people that go through and they put the prizes. A lot of people like to stay and watch. They want to see
So
if they
you do
won.
this in front of everyone?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we do Facebook Live for the platinum and grand prizes, depending.
Does that hit well, like for the viewers on that when you go live?
Yeah.
Because then if they're not there, then they can watch it through their Facebook.
Yes. Yeah. And then when we do there'll be those 6 groups doing prizes, and they're ahead of us. And then we announce them, like kind of behind them. We announce them, and then we enter them in the computer right away. So there's people behind the scenes that work on the automation, and
Yeah.
they spit out like, okay, this ticket number, here's the winner.
So you guys take the tickets, then they get entered into a computer, and then the computer spits out the number for what it's going to be.
Yeah, the number of the ticket
Yeah.
corresponds to that person's name.
Yeah.
So it's automated. So then they'll run a report for us behind the scenes, and then
How long does that take
I think it maybe took us 3 hours last year
to do the entire thing?
to get the tickets pulled, get the report done, and then we have a whole bunch of people that will either text or call all
So
the
you do
winners.
all of them, get all of the winners, and then when that's done, you then announce them all. Like we will go through each prize.
Well, what we do is for the raffle level, we'll just say prize number 1, like we'll say the name of it and then the winning number, and then we just move on to the next.
Yeah.
So it's a quick process for that.
So when are you doing when do you cut off the tricky tray to start entering it in the computer? Because as soon as you cut it off, you're probably dumping over the information.
Right. So 1:30 we pull all the prizes on Sunday. So no one can put any tickets in after 1:15. And then if they want to stay, they can stay, and then we start our next part of our process.
Do you guys get medals at the end of this or awards? It sounds like this is a ton of work. It sounds like you guys built a crazy system that is in place, and it sounds like you guys really know what you're doing.
Yeah, we don't get medals, but we get a lot of thanks.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I guess it's just, you're doing it for the fundraising and all that. It's just crazy to sit here and listen, because you probably don't look at it from the perspective of, as I do, as vice versa. When people look at stuff I'm doing, like, you're in it, you're in the work, you're passionate about it, you're raising money, but like, it's pretty incredible what you guys have done to the point of getting that many people over there, running this in a fashion where it works, feeding people, getting people to donate it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when I talk to you on the phone, I'm like, oh, all right. But then when you break this down, I never knew the science and anything behind this.
Yeah,
Most people probably stop after a year because it's too much work.
It definitely is a lot of work. I think it's a lot of the Catholic schools do these because it does really help the school.
Yeah.
And it's great when
I went to Notre Dame. Yeah,
that's awesome.
They need help. They did anyways. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah, and it's nice that you can have community help. And
Yeah.
So, and we kind of make ours a lot of fun along the way. So, yeah, it's definitely
I like
cool.
that there's thought into it, and like how you change everything up, and each night's different instead of just kind of phoning it in and doing the same thing and hoping people show up, and like leaving it up to the parents to like, oh, well, you should come out to this, but there's nothing for them to do. It kind of seems like you're thinking a little bit outside the box and just kind of making it seem themed, or like if it wasn't for charity and you were doing it just for the purpose of having something, it seems like it's kind of thought that way, which is how I would do it. Because why wouldn't you want to make it fun and interesting for people that either have to go to that because they want to support their kids, or if it's just somebody who's looking for something to do, you're riding the line of getting both, not just relying on the parents, which isn't easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that idea. It's cool. What are the prizes? How crazy do you guys get with prizes? I'm excited to figure that out. And you can go through them all, so then we have content for it.
They're really good this year. It's the generosity's been great. We have 2 platinum prizes, which are $10 a ticket. So those are valued at $2,000 or more.
So is there categories for the prizes?
They're categorized in 4 different levels. So platinum is $2,000 or more. Grand is $500 to $19.99. Large is $100 to $4.99, and then raffles $25 to $99.
And then you buy, because I don't understand tricky trays, or I just never did them enough. So now, if I was going to that, I would buy tickets, and then my tickets I can put in any of those. But the more tickets I put in, the more chances I have on winning things.
Right, and each one has we coordinate our tablecloth color with our tickets. So when you go in, if your yellow tickets go in the yellow tablecloth prizes, and that's the lower level, and then the large has a color of blue, and so it goes like that. So that way people can kind of buy the tickets according to that. And what we do ahead of time too is we do bundles that are discounted. So if they buy like a $50 bundle, if they bought that amount of tickets at the event, it would cost $60, but it costs $50 if they do it ahead of time. The $100 bundle's a $20 savings. So we try to get people to do that, and then we have all their tickets ready at will call. So it's really nice. You just go in, you show your ID, and then your tickets are ready for you. Just grab them instead of waiting in line and kind of figuring out what you want to get. So
you guys have left no stone unturned. How long has it taken you to get to this point? Do you think it's been like, were you this rock solid last year, or do you think like this year you guys like have it down the most for like the organization of it?
I think we were always pretty organized, but every year we learn something. Yeah. And something that Kristen and I do together is we sit down and we have a debrief afterwards, and it's like gold because we have it all documented, and then we just put it away. And then when we open it back up in like December, January, it's like, oh, that's right. That was not good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And we improve upon it. So like the first year we were not automated with our tickets. And one parent came back 6 times because we kept calling her. Someone else kept calling her like, oh, you won. She's like, I was just there. Like, oh, you won again. And it was a mess. And we're like, we can never do that again.
Yeah.
And then last year we kind of found something that wasn't perfect. And we're like, okay, how are we going to improve it? So when we have these debriefs, we figure out how we're going to improve it and we document it. So then the next year we kind of build all those things.
It's super important to do that. When we started doing the pop-ups, myself and Gina, you have a couple of them, and then the pizzazz wears off, and then you just kind of like start looking at it, and then the ride home, she'd always say, was the most important. And she's like, the ride home, because on the ride home we'd be like, how did that go? And we'd be honest about it, and we'd be like, all right, well, we did this wrong. And I always look at like what I could do better in a situation before I look at like, of course you have the feeling of, yeah, that was awesome. But then when we sat down, it was like, hey, I shouldn't have done it that way. And like, hey, we should do this differently. And that's what completely shaped our business. One, to the point where we were like a rock solid, like we went from like, those first pop-ups were so terrible, and we'd have a line out the door and people would have to wait till by the fifth or sixth one, like we were just ripping them. Like we had no one waiting. We figured out a better system to where I can make the burgers ahead of time. And then, we kept pushing, like, how could it be better? How could it be better? Is this worth the squeeze? And then the final thing was like, do you want to do brick and mortar? And I was like, yeah. I was like, let's do brick and mortar. And then that's how we got to where we are now. But if you don't look at like the debriefing or like what you can do better or like what you guys did wrong, and you're honest with like what needs to change, you just keep repeating the same stuff. And like, I like that you guys focus on that, because that's what makes the experience better. And that's the stuff that nobody sees, but it's really only how you can run something as unique and as tight of a ship as what you guys are doing from what it sounds.
Yeah. And you're right. So that's definitely an important piece. We were just talking about it the other day, like, we have to make sure that we get that in, because it was so helpful, and you don't want it to go too long.
No, because then you forget about it.
Yeah, but we can't do it right afterwards because I'm crying. Someone else wants to go home and go to sleep. We're all going through our emotions of being really tired. So, but yeah, we definitely do that, and I think this is going to be our best year yet. Having like us adding the layer of the sponsors. Another thing that we did, because we had that fun run in the beginning of the year with the cash calendar raffle, we had some sponsors for that, and we did a T-shirt. So all of those sponsors are on the back of a T-shirt, which all of our volunteers are going to wear during the weekend. So it's nice because then people come in, one, they know who is the volunteer, and they can go and ask questions. But it also shows support to those companies that gave us sponsorship to help support the school.
Yeah.
So we do that as well.
So now that we kind of got into the prizes and the different structures, do you want to start out with the smaller stuff and then kind of build up to what your bigger prizes are?
Yeah, sure. That sounds great. So we have already over 200 raffle prizes, and that's still growing. That's that level of $25 to $99. And we still have people out there that are picking up from different locations getting prizes. So I kind of have them grouped, but we have gift cards to restaurants, gift cards to stores. So we have like, a really popular one. Everyone wants to put their ticket in Dunkin' Donuts. And then we have Carl's Corner and Slate Quarry. A lot of the people in Nazareth were very generous in giving us gift cards. Gift cards to the hair salons. So we have a lot of places do that. A $25 to $50 gift card for them might give them a customer for years.
Yeah. I like that, because I didn't think about how much Nazareth could be involved, but it could also be generating money back in the town too. So it's like, I like that the restaurants and the salons and all these people are helping and donating, but then at the same time, they're also potentially getting clients and having somebody have an experience where like, oh man, I drove by that, salon 60 times and never went in. And then I ended up really liking this person, and it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, although we're asking them for something, we're hoping that it ends up helping them in the long run. We have like admissions to museums, the zoo, things like that, but not just in this area. One of the parents that goes and asks for things, she goes all the way out to like Poconos, and we have Newport Mansion, so you can get passes to go see the mansions up there. So that's a really cool one. Tickets to sporting events, so the Iron Pigs, the New York Red Bulls soccer team. Electronics, there's like seasonal baskets. So like every holiday you can imagine. So when you're not in, there's nothing out there Christmas, but you want something, there's baskets for Christmas at ours. Relaxation, summer baskets, beauty baskets, things for babies in baskets. We have some must be 21 or older beer baskets, wine baskets, golf course greens fees, lots of games and toys like Nerf, Lego, like all the fun toys that kids will want their parents to put tickets in.
Yeah.
And then kitchen things like crock pots, air fryers, coffee makers, you name it. So that's kind of like what the raffle ones look like.
Yeah.
And you get for $5, you get a sheet of 25 tickets. So you get 25 tickets to put in for that $5. So it's fun. It's not that's that level. Then the large level, those are $2 a ticket, and that's valued at $100 to $499. We have an Xbox, we have AirPod Pros, $200 to Oak Steakhouse. We actually have two of those. A really generous parent gave us two $200 gift cards. Daddy's Place, $100. Setaluna, Texas Roadhouse, those are both 100. J. Morgan Salon gave us three $100 gift cards for the event. We have a tablet, a hoverboard. We have classes all donate. So all of our classes contribute to a themed basket. So they do like a large level basket for us. So they have a cupcake basket, a coffee craze basket, game night, relax and unwind, a spoiled pooch basket, a Crayola, a movie basket, a summer basket. So they each.
So those are all like kind of experience type things?
Yeah, the classes kind of do what they think is something to fit that theme.
Yeah.
So those are fun. There's one that I don't know what the basket's going to look like, but their theme was sports. So I don't know if they're going to put tickets or if they're going to put, just different, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But that could be, it's fun to see what the classes come up with. And then we do a contest. So the classes that raise the most money get.
And this is classes meaning the school?
Yeah. Yeah. So we do preschool to 8th grade.
So now the school's involved and the kids are getting to do stuff as well?
Yeah. So they all contribute to it. We have one of those little Tykes cars that you drive around. That was donated. Tickets to Allentown Symphony, Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival tickets. North Star Dental gave us two $200 baskets. Fitness club memberships to Bethlehem Township, Planet Fitness. Birthday parties to Kids Co-op, YMCA, Action Karate, and a kayak, blow-up kayak. So those are just some of the large prizes we have. And then the grand prizes are $5 a ticket, and that's $500 to $1,999. And we have a $1,000 cash prize from Banger Podiatry, a $1,000 tuition credit for Notre Dame for next year. We have a $600 Holy Family tuition credit from our Holy Family School Council. They all contributed and did that for us. A $550 Apple gift card, $500 Visa gift card, $500 Giant gift card, $500 Target gift card. So they're amazing prizes that almost anyone's going to want to put their tickets in for. So it's kind of, it's exciting to see that those were all like our sponsors.
Yeah, those are all great things. I mean, the whole list from the start till now are all awesome prizes. It's well thought out stuff.
Yeah, and we Bethlehem Catholic also gave a $500 tuition credit. We have a beauty basket that's valued over $1,000. A one-night stay to Kalahari for 6 people. 6 water park passes at Kalahari. We have like an outdoor conversation set from Lowe's. One of those kids' cottages that you put outside that kids play in. And a Kate Spade purse and wallet. And then our platinum prizes are $10 a ticket. And I mentioned the $2,000 grocery and gas. But we also have for 2 years now, Architects Golf Club in New Jersey. They donate a weekday golf membership. So you can golf anytime, any day through the week with that membership. And that's a really generous prize.
It seems like a lot of people have been doing a lot of work to find a lot of very unique things. And it wasn't just kind of like run-of-the-mill stuff. I mean, everything's very thought out onto people who would be there who would be guys, it would be girls, it would be people with families, it would be stuff that kids would want, it would be stuff where if you're just kind of coming there, you can put something in and win something, and it's not like smaller stuff, like having an Xbox and things like that. Like some of that stuff is like hard to get, even to just go to the store and find.
Yeah.
You guys must feel very fortunate for the amount of people that give back, or the people that are working with you to pull something like this off.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without all of the generosity from everyone, because there's only so much you can kind of come up with.
I mean, the restaurants were like top restaurants in the area, and that's really impressive.
Yeah, it's great. And some of them were like a class donation. Did the Setaluna one?
Yeah. I like Setaluna.
Yeah, it's great. And Daddy's Place, they were like, we'll give you $100, and they want to help. So it's great to be able to have just the good variety of things, like you said, that we want it to be where everyone has a place to put their tickets.
They definitely, from even just from going from golf to fitness, and then the Apple stuff, and then going over to video games, and then just everything, and then having the stuff where the kids are doing it is cool, and then being able to get out of the area for people who would be like, oh, that's cool to go up and check out the mansions. And I don't know, you guys have did a tremendous job on kind of really having a little bit for everybody in 3 days of chaos for you guys. But it seems like you haven't really missed anything on why you wouldn't want to go to this.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun event. The only other thing I didn't mention is we do a 50-50, but we do it from Friday to Sunday. So at the end of Sunday is when we pull the winner.
What's the most that's ever done?
I can't remember what it was. I think it was over 1,000 last year as the payout. So that's exciting too, because people, one year we just did each day, and it wasn't as exciting. So that's something that we learned from, to do it growing.
And then I like the Facebook Live aspect, because you obviously don't have to be there for your ticket being pulled.
Yes, and people really like that. The one year that we did it through COVID, we weren't allowed to have the food, and we had to do everything live. So we do the larger ones, but because we have over 200 of the raffle ones, we don't do that part live. We may consider it. I mean, just having it like someone just following us through, but definitely the larger prizes, and we get a lot of people watching when we do that.
Do you plan on making this bigger than what it is already? Like, what are your plans, or like the team's plans on like running it? Like, where do you see this going in the next couple of years? Because it sounds like this is just kind of keeps getting like more organized and bigger. And I take COVID out of it, but like where you guys are at now, it's like, do you think it'll be bigger than this next year? Like, do you want to grow it bigger, or are you happy with kind of like the way things are and just go after bigger prizes and then kind of change the mood of the places? Or do you see yourself like really going after like a bigger event? Well, not that this event is not big.
Well, I think we like what we're doing, and that would be something that each year when we get together as a group, then we kind of figure out like what we want to add or take away. But I think the goal is just to continue to grow it so we can continue to make more money for the school. So I think having the sponsors built into it was really helpful, and I would like to grow that piece of it, because that really helps us be able to have a sponsorship of that amount of money. We can get a really great prize, and then our smaller donations we can fill with some of the...
And with getting the sponsorships, you might be able to get a couple prizes as opposed to trying to get one person to donate something. So if like you get the sponsorships and you're selling the advertising, which obviously sounds like it's, they're probably getting a bang for their buck with the amount of people that are coming through. Plus it's on Facebook Live, so it's going to go out further. And any type of social media you're doing, from an advertising standpoint, from me being involved in selling advertising, it seems like that's a fantastic way to go. But then it makes your guys' life a little bit easier, because you can just go purchase prizes instead of having to have them donated.
Yeah, and it is nice. Like I go on some of the sites every day, look for things on sale too. And my sister-in-law is a huge help with the event, and she wraps every prize like beautifully. But the other thing that she does is all year long, she looks for things that might be 75, 80, 90 off, and she gets prizes that way for us too. So we can stretch our budget a little bit more and still have really great prizes for people.
Yeah. Do you know what the school plans on upgrading this year? Like, do you know, like, kind of like the goals and like what you're going to hit? And then I'm only asking because, like, do you get to see the actual change then with the school? Because, I mean, you guys are there. Obviously, you have kids there. But, like, what's that like to actually see them implement, like, the technology or the computers? And then you see, like, your kids being able to kind of have a little bit of help where they weren't because of financial reasons.
So the timeline, we don't know what the budget will be for next year yet.
Yeah.
But we definitely will be involved in the process of like, oh, that would be great to.
Do you get to see the change?
We've seen the change with the technology over the years for sure. I mean, we didn't have the Chromebooks 1-to-1, and now the kids have that, and they do everything through Google Classroom, and it's kind of an expectation for them to use those throughout the day for school. Not completely, which is good because you still want them to use paper and kind of learn both.
Yeah.
I think there's got to be a balance to that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we have seen that change. We just don't know what's in store for this next year.
Yeah.
But definitely things that will be a part of that process. So,
I think everything you guys are doing. When I was approached with this, I was like, yeah, I usually help anybody out in town, so I didn't mind doing this at all. And then when I got on the phone with you, I'm like, oh, this is way different than what I thought. And then interviewing you right now and seeing like what you guys are actually doing is incredible. It's crazy that there's people that are just pushing this much, growing this much, raising this much money to help out and benefit stuff that's locally in town. And I don't think a lot of people ever get to kind of see what you guys are doing. I'm glad I did this. I feel like not enough people know. I didn't know what fundraising and stuff on this kind of level went into. Like, I was involved with some stuff, but you're just like, yeah, cool, I'll help. But to sit here and actually ask what you guys do and how you started from nothing and took an idea of what was someone else's project and then grew it into your own, and having this many avenues of people helping, and just the food alone, I know just from being in it, is such a monster and a headache in its own part. But then to take that and to theme it and then to put prizes in it, like, you guys are crazy.
it does seem like a lot when you put it like that.
It is. You guys are doing a lot of hard work, but that's why I said, like, when you congratulated me on, the Lehigh Valley stuff, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I'm working. I just work. I don't stop working. And it seems like you have a lot of people who don't stop working on what you're doing. I think it's awesome that we have people like yourself and others in the area that are trying to do things to help out. And I think it's nice seeing people still caring. I'm going to give you a moment to plug anything else with this, because I know there's a lot to go over, so take your time with it. But if you want to give the social media out, or if you want to just get the dates and everything out, and then anything that people would want for where they go to get the tickets, how much are the tickets, all that stuff, just take your time and you can go over it.
Okay, great. Thank you. So the event runs 3 days, March 24th through 26th. On Friday, it's from 4 to 8 for the Tricky Tray portion, and the Lenten Battle of the Sauces is from 4 to 7. If you would want to buy your tickets ahead of time for the Lenten meal, it's only $6 for pre-order, and that would be on our website. That would have a link to a Square site so they could order those. On Saturday, the 25th, it's Tricky Tray from 12 to 7, and we're going to have comfort food all day available for purchase. There's no pre-order for any of the food that day. And on Sunday, the 26th, we have breakfast with the Easter Bunny. We have 3 different seating times, 8 a.m., 9:30, and 11 a.m., and that also could be ordered through Square. It's a pre-order of $9, and it is an all-you-can-eat breakfast. So that's Sunday. And then at 1:15, we stop the prizes, and we stop putting tickets in the prizes, and we start the pooling by 1:30. We have the different levels of baskets, the $25 or more, $100 or more, $500 or more for grand, and then the platinum's over $2,000 value. Trying to think what else. Oh, the pre-order for the actual tickets. That is not done with online payment. It's cash or check. but they can download the form from our website. We have a web page, and the form can be mailed to the school or dropped off. And the discounts for all the pre-orders end by March 20th. So they can get the bundles, and then we have like a early bird special for the raffle ticket. So if they buy 5 sheets, they get 1 for free. But that all ends on March 20th. The website, it's kind of one of those, it's those Google sites. It's a little hard. I don't know if I should list it or if it's
I can put that kind of stuff in the YouTube stuff. So like there'll be a YouTube information, so I can link that there.
Okay, it's one. I'd lose
You're
you.
like HTTP.
Yeah, I would
backslash.
I would lose you
AOL.
there. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I would say it
No,
right. So,
yeah.
And we also have an ATM there. So we don't use credit card with the raffle portion, but we have credit card for the food. So I think that summarized it. Did I?
No, I think you got it all out there. Anything we missed, I could put in the information, because I'll have you guys just write something out and I'll just put it in for the YouTube. And then if anybody watches this, listens to this, go check out what they're doing. There's 3 days you can get over there. I'm not putting any sponsors or plugging anything else on this. So if you guys want to come out and support, please do. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on. And we did 55 minutes.
Wow. Thank you
Cool.
so much.
Thank you.
Never Again Radio. Get into it, brother.